Oh, wow. Whoa. Wow. Welcome to a new video from Agatebay. I am Joshua and we are cutting a rough batch of agates from the Alimajo XL material today. I had a customer who's been asking about how good does the material actually look like when you cut it. So this is from the regular sales material that I've been packing. I've been grabbing a couple nicer nodules, so I think this is probably a little better than representative because there's a couple pieces with nice windows in here while most of the nodules are mostly complete, and with the windows of course it increases the chance a lot to cut higher quality pieces because they already show some good color. But all of the rough will have incredible pieces just like these in the rough. I'm selling these currently, it's a 1 kilo lot, so all of them are packed just slightly a little bit more than a kilo, just to be on the safe side that you're getting actually more than you're paying for. But these are available at 120 euros per kilo on my website. It's some of the best cutting rough on the entire market right now. They have an incredible high yield in terms of colors, variety, everything is possible in these specimens. So I would say let's just rip it open. So in this package we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 nodules. I would say the average usually for these is somewhere between between a dozen and 25 pieces, depending on the size. A lot of these Alimajo agates are pretty easy to cut, especially if you have a trim saw. You can just adjust the angle and rip them through. If you have a saw like this, of course the cut is going to be a little bit more precise, but it's also taking much more time to cut them. Here you can see where there's a window on the right side and the left side, and you would want to cut, of course, somewhere in between there. This window looks a little bit better, so I would cut through this bump once across the piece like this here. And most of the pieces you just want to cut for the most concentric banding where it's a little more condensed. You usually don't want to get for the full face, so that's just one of the indicators you're looking for. This one broke off a little early. Maybe it had a little bit of a natural fracturing line that I couldn't see from the outside, but got just gorgeous yellow and orange banding with some flow channels, so this is a pretty typical piece. Always trying to go for the most concentrated banding, usually not for the biggest face just because the banding is much tighter, but still through the biggest volume. So it's a little bit thicker here to the left, so I try to cut it through the bump. Another very cute typical piece here, just such beautiful colorization. This is really one you will cut a lot of comparable pieces to, and not the banger yet, but this is also one of the smaller ones you will be finding in the XL selection. So this is about 1.5 inches in size. Another just about 1.5 inch sized specimen. It's got a pretty round bump, so I'm just going to cut through the largest volume in the center of the piece, like I do with most specimens here. Ooh. Cute little floater. Also, don't get discouraged if they show quartz windows like this one here, because a lot of them will actually be opening up to some floaters. Cute little specimen right here. Something you will quite commonly see is that a lot of these pieces have pretty flat bottoms, and this is usually where some carbonate inclusions concentrate. You never really know how far they're going up. Some of them are almost completely filled, some just to a very small fraction. So having windows here to the side where you can see some agate, you know that the carbonate's not going to be higher than this level, so you can know that you only have to take out the very bottom part out of the calculation for the volume of the stone. Oh yeah. Another gorgeous piece that looks just like a flame, and also of this kind you will find some very good pieces just because of these beautiful flow channels and fiery colors they're gonna have. Also here in this one you can see some tiny little fractures here in the rim area. This is also something you will find sometimes, but these agates are surprisingly fracture free, so you will cut a lot of killer specimens without fractures. On this piece you can see it's been found close to the surface, just because it has this little window here where it has the white opalization and also these white peaks of the nodule. Those are an indicator that it's been on the surface for a while, as well as this white tiny window here. But you cannot spot any of the colors, so anything can be hiding inside of this piece. Let's just hope for the best. Oh, okay. Whoa, yeah, beautiful piece. Such a flawless beauty in this light green color. So much perfection in this specimen. Great contrast banding, and it's actually a floater as well. What a gorgeous piece right here. Just going for the biggest volume in this one. It had a small window with white banding and a little bit of orange color is what I've been seeing. Let's see what's inside of this one. Oh yes. Another gorgeous little specimen right here. Yeah, just beautiful white and orange color in the rim area. Then it's got a quartz center, and within the quartz another gorgeous floater sitting in there. Another beautiful specimen in the same kind of quality. You will hopefully be cutting plenty off with your own rough stones. I've sold a couple 100 pounds of this material already, so if you're curious to see what other people are cutting, there's a couple other YouTube channels that you will frequently see cut this Malawi material, and maybe you'll find especially some if you search for Alimajo or Alimajo XL from other people that have been cutting this type of material. But there's already been several 100 pounds of material that found its way to new owners and lapidarists and collections and rocksmithers. So yeah, plenty of beautiful pieces have been cut from this location, just so you get a little bit of more comparability from other people if you would like to do that. Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful. Wow. Incroyable. Just the color intensity and fine banding some of these beautiful pieces have with this contrast really make it one of the best agates in the world right now that's available in rough. So just gorgeous pieces. And actually this one has a little bit of parallax. I would say only a small percentage of these actually has parallax, but cutting them for the more condensed banding is always the best way to go for most kind of agate in order to get more contrast in the banding of these pieces. Most of these pieces are still dirty from the soil and host rock where they're being mined in. So these are being sold uncleaned, mine run. So a lot of these windows you will not even see. So I also suggest that you clean them properly with some water and a brush before you get them into your saw, just because you of course want to try to avoid as many windows as possible. So you have to see what they look like all the way around. Oh, wow! Oh, another gorgeous piece here. Just such beautiful colorization with the white, orange, then a layer of quartz, making it a floater with this bright green branding, and then here in the center white and orange again. Gorgeous specimen again. This one's already showing a beautiful banded window with a little bit dirt on top, but I can already see it's got some great colors. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Didn't expect that. This piece belongs in the category of absolute killer pieces. Oh my goodness. It's got all the colors of the rainbow, and the colorization is almost the same like in my logo piece, because that, by the way, is also from this specific location. My logo is actually even smaller than this agate here. So even the small ones can be absolutely incredible, and the colors in this piece are just mind-blowing. No fractures with the flow channel up here, just absolute perfection in this piece. Very, very nice piece. This one seems to have a couple smaller windows with mostly chalcedony and white banding showing, maybe a little bit of quartz as well. But in order to avoid most of the windows, I have to like cut it a little bit in a tilted angle, which I'm usually not a big fan of. But I don't really have too much choice on this piece here, so I'm gonna go for it anyways to get the best out of it. I would call this a pretty good but yeah, definitely above average piece. Beautiful banding, great contrast, but a little bit of the quartz center here, which of course you will find sometimes. This one doesn't have a floater, but a lot of pieces do. And also here just a small fracturing line, which of course takes a little bit of the value away. But gorgeous banding and just beautiful. I'm trying to stay even a little bit more away from the flat area. They don't always have the carbonate, but there is a decent chance. So I'm not trying to risk it and just go for the more safe cut with this piece. Oh, wow. Whoa. Wow. This is the absolute favorite piece of the lot so far. And wow, just absolutely incredible. Just half of this piece would finance more than an entire lot of rough stones from this location. And I'm not sure if I cut it just perfectly with a much bigger and a much smaller half, because here it looks like the center may be a little bit bigger, but also it looks like it could be opening up a lot more behind this section here. Maybe I was too scared that this bottom would be carbonated, but it turns out it doesn't show any carbonate at all. But it's just an incredible piece. Just absolutely stunning with the color intensity and finesse of the banding. Just fabulous. This is another little bit more scary cut because it has the opalized area here, and even though it looks like it has some color, it could be anything inside. Also, it has a big window area up top, so I cannot cut it through any like regular way I would be cutting it through. So this way I'm forced to make a full face cut in between the two windows and then up to the corner peak here. Could be good, could be bad, but we've been very lucky so far. So maybe the luck is on our side again. Oh yes. Wow. Oh. Wow. Sometimes it happens and you cut an absolutely stunning specimen just like this one, but then you're bumped again just because it has all those hairline fractures. I think we had another small agate where it had like a tinier version of those hairline fractures. Here they're a little bit stronger, but just absolutely stunning colors. And I would say sometimes in these opalized pieces you find it more typically just because they've been, just for longer exposed to the Mother Nature. But sometimes in these opalized pieces you just get absolutely mind-blowing fracture-free pieces as well. So I wouldn't say it's just one way or the other, but anything can really happen. Yeah, I put this in lengthwise just to get a better cutting angle. I could see there's a small window with quartz showing. Let's see if it's just quartz or maybe we hit another floater. With how lucky we've been, I could imagine. Ooh, wow. It is a floater. Wow. How lucky can we be? I would say this specific location is also one that worldwide produces some of the most floater specimens in one of the most intense colors. So even if you see pieces where you only have some agate banding that doesn't look like much with quartz inside, don't get discouraged. Even if you only find quartz, some of the most amazing floater agates come from this location. So yeah, just cut it and see what's happening. Yeah, this one's a pretty much untouched nodule, only has a little bit of an opalized window over here and over here. Other than that, it's a pretty flat nodules. You will find a lot of flat pieces in the rough as well, typically not in a size like this. This is really as big as they possibly can get. I'm cutting this lengthwise for a change, so somewhere over here this bump and then in between these two little windows across here. Last one. Is it the best one? Maybe. The moment of truth. Ooh. I think the last one proves the point again. Just gorgeous specimen. The outside banding so beautiful, and also here again just such a wonderful floater with the color change and just incredible quality of the specimen here again. I didn't realize it when I cut this lot, but I actually cut some pretty incredible pieces. I've just been going at it, cutting one after the other. I knew I cut beautiful pieces, but I didn't see that it all added up to so much beauty at once. And just the variety is so incredible. I really think this is some of the best cutting rough on the entire market. And of course you can keep your hype so because every single batch will yield superb colorful pieces like this. But of course, it cannot be your expectation to cut just so many beautiful pieces in a row. This is really one of the premium lots I think I've ever cut from this material. So it's absolutely not representative of what you will be getting, but it is representative for some of what you will be getting, just not in this vast amount of beauty. But every single lot will contain pieces like this. And of course, also some of the pieces will cut will have fractures. They can fall apart. They will have quartz centers like this, but they're still mostly beautiful pieces with some sort of banding. So there's not going to be more than a handful of pieces that you're going to throw away. Like I said, I have not had a single customer that told me these agates are not worth it. But usually they're worth multiple times of the money that you're investing. You will find all of these available on my website. In order to sweeten it up for you a little bit, all of these pieces I'm gonna give away. It's a sweet dozen pieces that have nice colors, just don't match this kind of same value of the polished pieces. But all of these will be given away, 1/2 each for the first dozen orders I'm getting in of individual customers buying one of these lots. So if you buy 5 lots at once, you will also just get 1 piece, but it just encourages you a little bit to try your own luck and have guaranteed already a beautiful specimen for yourself. This may not be very common knowledge, but already since January of 2025, there has been an export ban for all rough stones coming out of Malawi. And now just very recently again, the president of Malawi has released another executive order that this ban is not going to be lifted. It is very unlikely that in the years to come that there's going to be any rough stones coming out of Malawi at all. So the market is definitely going to change on that. And it could be that similar to Botswana agates, in order for them to be exported, they have to be processed in some sort of way. So it could be that we have to find alternative ways in order to get the stones out of the country. So it would be a possibility to pre-tumble them and then export them, or that there's just not going to be any more rough stones and we just have to establish a bigger workshop to cut the stones right in place in Malawi and get them processed and polished. This Alimajo XL material is very rare with very, very limited quantities that have been found. So I want to give you one last chance until the end of November this year that I will keep the Alimajo XL for sale on my website. But since there are so limited quantities, I want to take it off my website just so I have a little bit more material to cut in the next months or years to come, and maybe also release some more batches of rough stones in the future. But for now, the Alimajo XL is going to be only available until the end of November 2025. I did add a few other rough stone localities to my website as well from Malawi. So I freshly added the 1970s rough agates. I added the Gambiri XL and a mix of Malawi agates to my website as well, if you would like to get a little more variety. But yeah, I don't have a ton of rough stones in storage here anymore, so the supply only lasts as long as we have it. So make sure to place your orders. And if you're one of the first 12 to order some of the Alimajo XL material, then you will also get one of the cut pieces from this video as a freebie in your package. There's smaller material on the market that I've been supplying to the Gemshop and Highland Park Lapidary, but if you're looking for the exclusive XL material, you have to get it through me. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week again with a new video.